We're back. President Obama's quiet campaign to kill al-Qaeda's leadership had a major victory Monday. That's this Monday, when a U.S. drone strike killed the terror organization's #2 in charge, Abu Yahya al-Libi, in Pakistan again. Why isn't the president getting credit for his campaign against al-Qaeda, which is hitting the top people? Brian Katulis is a senior fellow at the Center for American Progress, and Michael Hirsch is the chief correspondent for the National Journal. Well, let me ask you that. Why don't we start here? But first of all, here's Jay Carney trying to explain the importance of this killing of al-Libi. He called it a major blow to al-Qaeda. Let's watch.
There is now no clear successor to take on the breadth of his responsibilities. Al-Libi's death is a major blow to core al-Qaeda, removing the #2 leader for the second time in less than a year, and further damaging the group's morale and cohesion, and bringing it closer to its ultimate demise than ever before.
You know, let me go to Brian on this. It would seem to me that W would be doing a hot dogging on the front steps of the White House in his cowboy boots if this was going on under his watch. And here you have Obama doing it in a quiet sort of way. The public's not paying attention to this killing at the top, are they?
Well, it's clear that the economy is the #1 issue, but President Obama's record on national security has been so strong, it's almost as if many people have not noticed. I mean, we got bin Laden, we've decimated the core of al-Qaeda, and we've dealt with a lot of the problems that, say, 4 or 5 years ago everybody was worried about. We're out of Iraq, and we're winding down the war in Afghanistan. So I think the president, when you look at the poll ratings, he performs very, very well on national security, stronger than other areas, and it is an asset. It's neutralized this national security deficit disorder that some people thought Democrats suffered from after the Vietnam War, and it's a pretty strong suit. But I think, you know, the big issues of the jobs and the economy are going to be obviously where the election is fought out.
You know, Michael, it sounds like the old days when you dealt with inflation and there wasn't any inflation, you didn't get any credit for it because there wasn't anything to complain about. Therefore, there wasn't anything to deal with. Everybody ignored it. And this time, if you're dealing with a foreign threat that really scared the heck out of us in 2001 and did frighten us and hurt us badly as a national wound, and here we are feeling pretty secure, I think, compared to where we were a few years ago, and nobody gives anybody credit for it.
No question, a certain amount of complacency has set in, and you've had, apart from the bin Laden targeting, which, you know, did make big news and did give Obama something of a bump for at least a little while, what you've had here is a sort of a drip, drip, drip of, you know, one al-Qaeda leader after another. Most Americans have never heard their names before. In total, I think it has been enormously effective against al-Qaeda to the point where traditionally al-Qaeda in Afghanistan and Pakistan is no longer the main threat. It's the new offshoot of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. But people don't pay that much of attention to that. And as Brian said, the economy has become so much the all-embracing issue that this is, at best, is going to be a slight edge for Obama.
Let's take a look at the president back when he was debating in 2008. Candidate Obama was hammered by his opponents, including Hillary Clinton, for saying he would take out terrorists, even on Pakistani soil, with or without that country's permission. Let's watch.
If we have actionable intelligence about high-value terrorist targets and President Musharraf will not act, we will.
We would risk the confused leadership of an inexperienced candidate who once suggested bombing our ally, Pakistan.
You know, as Senator Obama said, yes, last summer he basically threatened to bomb Pakistan, which I don't think was a particularly wise position to take.
Brian, so he stuck his neck out. He basically determined it would not be a drone strike to get Osama bin Laden. It would be a direct action by the SEALs with all the dangers there, but then the certainty of having got our man. Let me ask you, when you look at the world right now, who has the capability to hurt America here in America? Who can hit us, not existentially, nobody's going to do that, or strategically, but who can do real harm to this country right now? Anybody?
Well, right now, when you look at the al-Qaeda affiliates in places like Yemen and Somalia, those are cause for concern, as we've seen from recent news with some of the recent plots. And that's why getting this guy al-Libi was essential. Al-Libi was the #2 who served as a key link to the al-Qaeda affiliates in those places. And taking him out was, I think, essential. And I got to add, we took him out in a part of Pakistan where under the Bush administration and in those clips in 2008 that you just showed, we essentially had a situation that those those areas were seeded in tribal deals by President Musharraf at the time. We had a very passive approach, and what we've had under Obama has been a very aggressive approach to go after the al-Qaeda core and these key links. So I would say it's the terrorist groups in Yemen and Somalia. Another threat, quite clearly, is the cyber threats that come from many different parts of the world, Russia, China, and other things, which I think are very real and new threats, and I think this administration's moving to address that. And then, quite obviously, Iran and the role that it plays in the Middle East and in the Gulf region, and its attempts to support terrorist networks. They're a grave threat. But on all those fronts,
Michael, I got to go to Michael
vigilant.
on this. Michael, can Iran hurt us? Can Iran hurt us? How does it hurt us? Through Hezbollah? Who do you see as a threat to the United States now here in America?
Well, I mean, I agree with what Brian just said. I think the asymmetric threats of various kinds. I mean, obviously, what we've both been most concerned about when our troops were still in Iraq and now in Afghanistan is the IEDs, the night attacks that target our soldiers there. As far as the homeland, cyber threats from China. And, possibly an asymmetric threat from Iran through Hezbollah contacts in this hemisphere, although we haven't seen anything very credible with that. I will say that the Obama administration has been trying to get this message out here that they're countering this.
Okay, thank you so well. Gentlemen, it's great to have experts.
Yeah.
We have to go. I'm sorry, Brian Katulis and Michael Hirsch. I think that Hezbollah concern unleashed by Iran is always there and dangerous.